My husband and I were saving for IVF. Every penny counted. He handled the finances. One day, I noticed $5,000 missing. He said it went to medical bills. I checked the statement. It went to a jewelry store, then a boutique hotel. I called the hotel. Yes, he stayed with Ms. Cassandra Reeves, they said. I had no idea who that was. I found her Instagram. She called him her rock. I messaged her. Funny, he told me we couldn't afford a baby. She blocked me. So I sent every receipt to her job. And his mom. IVF can wait. Healing comes first. I'm Clara, and this is the story of how my marriage burned down around me. Slow, painful, and unforgettable. I live in Spokane, Washington.
I'm 38.
I've been married to my husband, Mark, for 6 years. Mark is 42, works in insurance. I'm a registered nurse. We've wanted a baby for most of our marriage, but nothing worked. Month after month, it was the same heartbreak. Finally, last year, our doctor told us IVF was our best chance. It was terrifying and expensive. Insurance wouldn't cover it. We needed at least $10,000 just to get started. Mark and I sat down in January and had the big talk. We both agreed. This would be our focus. No more trips, no big purchases, no nonsense spending. We'd budget, cut corners, do whatever we had to do. Mark said he'd handle the finances. I got it, he told me. I'll manage the account. You focus on work, rest, and getting ready for the process. I trusted him. I always had. I picked up extra shifts at the hospital. I started packing every meal. I stopped getting my nails done. I told my friends I couldn't go out because we're saving for IVF. I believed it. I believed him. He praised me for it too. Told me I was strong. Said our future child would be lucky to have me. Sometimes, after a long shift, I'd come home and he'd rub my feet, pour me tea, and say things like, "We're almost there, babe. Just a few more months. You're amazing." It makes me sick now. It was a Saturday in June when everything started unraveling. I was looking through our joint credit card account to match a receipt for work. I wasn't even snooping, just checking something from Walgreens.
But then I saw it.
A charge from May 18th, $2,819 to Diamonds and Dreams, a high-end jewelry store downtown. My heart dropped. 2 days later, another charge, $2,200 to the Prescott, a luxury hotel 2 hours from Spokane. That wasn't even the worst of it. The week before that, $425 at a day spa. Then $160 at a winery. $90 at a place called Wild Ivy Boutique. It was like falling through a trapdoor. I stared at the screen, refreshed the page. Still there. I waited until Mark got home from the gym. He walked in wearing his usual hoodie, sweaty, smiling. I asked calmly, "Did you buy me something from a jewelry store?" He paused. Huh. I showed him the screen. This charge, $2,800. Diamonds and Dreams. He blinked.
Oh yeah, that.
That wasn't personal. It was for Micah. His wisdom teeth thing. He needed help paying the dentist up front, and I used our card. He's paying me back. I frowned. A jewelry store did his dental work? Mark nodded. Too fast. It's inside one of those downtown buildings. Multiple businesses. He swears it's a medical thing. I felt like I was losing my mind. And the hotel? I asked. 2 nights at the Prescott. Work conference, he said, without blinking. Had to go last minute. Insurance summit. I didn't believe him. Not a word. But I couldn't prove anything yet. That night, after he fell asleep, I slipped into the living room and called the Prescott. I gave the dates and his name. Yes, the woman said. He stayed here that weekend. Was he alone? There was a pause. He was checked in with a Ms. Cassandra Reeves. I hung up. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I sat there, in the dark, with my phone in my hand and my whole chest hollowed out. I didn't know who Cassandra Reeves was. Never heard the name. But Instagram is a powerful tool. She wasn't hard to find.
Blonde.
Mid-30s. toned body, fitness coach, lives here in Spokane. Her account was public. And there he was, Mark, in her posts, his arms around her at a lake, holding a wine glass on a rooftop, smiling, relaxed, like he didn't have a wife at home eating turkey sandwiches to save money for their baby. Her captions made me want to puke. Weekend away with the best man I've ever known. Thank you for spoiling me, M. And this one, my rock. I sent her a message right then. Just 10 words. Funny, he told me we couldn't afford a baby.
She saw it.
Then she blocked me. I could have broken something. Instead, I broke open the laptop. I pulled every bank and credit card statement for the past year. I made a spreadsheet. I went line by line, sorting anything that didn't make sense. I found over $11,000 in charges that had nothing to do with me or IVF. Spa days.
Boutique clotte.
Hotel bookings. Fancy dinners. One weekend they stayed at a cabin that charged $500 a night. He took her on our anniversary weekend. I screenshotted everything. Then I sent 2 emails. First, to her job, a luxury wellness studio where she was listed as a coach. I addressed it to the manager. Attached were screenshots, receipts, hotel booking confirmations. I wrote a short, polite message. Your employee, Cassandra Reeves, has been knowingly involved with a married man who is using funds set aside for fertility treatment. I thought you should be aware. Then, I forwarded everything to Mark's mom.
Diane.
Super religious, old school, and very vocal about marriage vows. Her reply came fast. Clara, I am so sorry. I had no idea. I will talk to him. You didn't deserve this. Mark came home that Friday to find the bedroom half empty. He panicked. Clara, what's going on?
Talk to me.
I looked him dead in the face. You lied. You cheated. You stole from your own wife. We were saving to bring life into this world. And you used that money to play house with your girlfriend. He actually said, she means nothing to me. I laughed. You spent $11,000 on someone who means nothing? He said, it was just a phase. I was stressed. We were going through so much. Don't you dare blame me. He begged. Got on his knees. Said he'd fix it. Said he'd get the money back. Swore he'd break it off. I walked out. Stayed with my sister across the state. 2 weeks later, Cassandra was fired. The studio manager replied, thanking me for bringing this to their attention. His mom told me he moved in with her after Cassandra dumped him. Apparently, she found out he was still sleeping with me in March, which I wasn't. He just lied to her, too. He texts me now and then. Messages like, I miss you. I made a mistake. Or, please come home. I still believe in our family. I don't answer. Because healing comes first. And IVF. IVF can wait. It didn't end when I left. I wish it had. 3 weeks after I moved in with my sister, I got a call from a blocked number. I don't usually answer those, but something in me said to pick up. It was Cassandra. She didn't sound angry. She sounded hollow. Clara, she said. I know you probably don't want to hear from me. I said nothing. I didn't know, she said. He told me you were separated. That you didn't want kids. That you were the one who cheated. I stayed quiet for a second. Then I asked, is that why you blocked me? I panicked, she said. I saw your message and I asked him. He said you were just trying to ruin things because he moved on. I could hear the pain in her voice. She continued, I found out he was messaging someone else, too. Another woman. That's why I ended it. That hit me, in a way I didn't expect. Another woman? After all that? I should have felt smug. But I didn't. I felt sick again. He lied to both of us, I said. Used our IVF money to play boyfriend. I'm sorry, she said. I don't want your apology, I told her. I want him out of my life. I'm going to send you something, she said. Screenshots. In case you ever need proof. And she did. She emailed me everything, texts, photos, even a receipt for a bracelet he bought her. It matched the charge from Diamonds and Dreams. The one he said was for his cousin's dental work. A week later, I got an email from a woman named Claire. Subject line: "You don't know me, but I think we need to talk." She was a bartender at the Bay Lounge, a spot Mark had taken Cassandra to more than once. She saw my post on a local Facebook group where I'd warned other women about him. Yes, I'd gone that far. She said, "He tried to hit on me after hours one night. Told me he was a widower. Said his wife died of cancer 2 years ago." I sat back in my chair and just stared at that sentence. A widower. He was telling women I was dead. I felt like I couldn't breathe. That level of lying wasn't just cruel. It was insane. Claire said she turned him down, but one of her friends, a woman named Dana, had gone on a few dates with him. And yes, Dana believed he was grieving a late wife. I looked her up. Dana was a teacher. Quiet, normal, nothing flashy. Same type as Cassandra. Same type as me. He had a pattern. I couldn't ignore it anymore. This wasn't just cheating. This was manipulation. A full-on double life. I contacted a lawyer. Not just for divorce, but to protect myself. I didn't know if he'd racked up more debt in my name. I had to make sure. The lawyer reviewed our accounts. Found 2 credit cards I didn't even know about. Both maxed out. One of them had my name on it. He'd forged my signature. My stomach dropped when I saw the balance. $7,400. All spent at restaurants, hotels, and stores I'd never been to. I confronted him. I had to. This wasn't just personal. It was legal. He showed up to the meeting acting calm, like this was just some misunderstanding. I dropped the paperwork on the table. "What is this?" I asked. He tried to shrug it off. "You're being dramatic. I'll pay it back." "You committed fraud," I said. "You forged my name." He didn't deny it. Just said, "Come on, Ratch. We're married. It's all our money." I stood up and said, "Not anymore. You're going to answer for this." My lawyer sent a formal letter demanding repayment and notifying him of intent to press charges if the debt wasn't resolved. He flipped out. Started texting my sister. Showing up at the hospital. Telling anyone who'd listen that I was trying to ruin his life. "No, Mark. You did that all by yourself. And now I'm trying to fix the damage he left behind." After my lawyer threatened legal action, Mark started spiraling.
Fast.
At first, it was messages. Long texts about how he was in a dark place, that he wasn't thinking straight, how I was the only one who ever really knew him. Then the calls started, blocked numbers, voicemails at all hours. One night, he left me a 3-minute message sobbing, saying he'd messed up everything, and I was destroying him. I didn't reply, but I saved everything. Every voicemail. Every text. I wasn't stupid. I knew when people like him feel cornered, they lash out. Then one day in late August, I got a message from my hospital HR department. Someone had submitted an anonymous tip claiming I was stealing medication from the supply room. I sat there in shock as the head of HR looked at me across the desk. "I know this sounds crazy," I said, "but I think my ex-husband is behind this." She gave me a tired look. "We're required to investigate." They pulled security footage, inventory logs, did a full audit. Of course, they found nothing. I was cleared within a week, but that week nearly broke me. My supervisor had to pull me from patient work during the review. Word spread. People whispered. It wasn't just petty, it was calculated.
He wanted me to feel watched.
He wanted me to feel afraid. But here's where it gets worse. A month later, I got a knock on my door. A woman in her late 50s stood there. Red eyes. She said, "Are you Clara?" I said yes. "I'm Mark's ex-wife," she said. I felt the floor shift under me. She introduced herself as Tammy. Said she and Mark had been married for 5 years before me. Said they had a son together. I blinked. "What son?" "He's 12, she said. "His name is Jaden." I sat down on the porch step. I couldn't even speak. She told me the whole story. Mark had walked out when Jaden was 6. Tammy said he was a smooth liar.
Charming.
A good actor. But always slippery with money. He used her, too. Racked up debt, then left. Said he needed to find himself. She got full custody. He disappeared for years. She only tracked me down after Jaden asked about his dad and found my wedding photos on Facebook. I didn't come to cause problems, she said. I thought you should know. You're not the only one he's done this to. We sat there for over an hour, swapping notes, swapping wounds,
Crying.
laughing bitterly. That night, I looked at the photo Tammy showed me, Mark holding a toddler, smiling, and I realized how deep his lies really went. He hadn't just betrayed me. He'd betrayed every part of his life. I decided I was done playing defense. It was time to go on offense. After Tammy left that day, I didn't sleep. I just laid in bed thinking about the 12-year-old son I never knew Mark had, about the money I saved, about every sacrifice, every lie. Then I thought about the receipt again.
To us.
No more hiding. I opened my laptop and typed up a timeline. Every shady thing I'd found. Every voicemail. Every lie he told. I added screenshots. Photos. Even tagged locations that didn't line up with where he said he was on certain days. I laid it all out like a crime scene. Then I called Brad's cousin, Daniel, the one who owned the auto shop. I didn't tell him everything. Just enough. You should check your inventory records, I said.
Parts.
Hours clocked. Ask Stephanie about her lunches with Brad. And maybe check your camera footage from July 3rd. I think you'll find something interesting. Daniel didn't ask questions. He just said, okay. The fallout was fast. Stephanie was fired the next day. Brad was let go a week later, after Daniel found out he'd been logging hours on days he was off with her. A few parts had gone missing too, nothing big, but enough to make Daniel suspicious. Brad tried to come crawling back after that. I have nothing left, he said. You ruined me. I laughed right in his face.
No.
You ruined you. I just held up the mirror. I sent his burner Instagram photos to Tammy. Turns out, he'd been messaging her once a month for a year. Just checking on Jaden, he'd write, but never offering money. Never asking to visit. Just trying to keep a foot in the door. Tammy didn't press charges. But she did send him a letter through her lawyer. Full custody confirmed. Back child support filed.
I thought that was the end.
But it wasn't. Not yet. 3 weeks later, I got a letter from my bank. A withdrawal attempt on the savings account I'd opened for Greece. The one only I was supposed to have access to. Brad had tried to guess my security questions. Got locked out. It was the final straw. So I took what was left in the account, $632, and booked myself a return trip to Greece. Just one ticket. One hotel room.
No rooftop dinners.
When I got there, I walked to the same restaurant. Like a Betis view. I stood outside, looked at the white tablecloths, the lights, the view of the Acropolis. Then I pulled that receipt from my purse, still folded, still intact, and I lit it on fire with a match I brought from the hotel bar. Watched it burn right there on the steps. I took a photo. Just one. Me, standing in front of the view, holding the last corner of that ash. I posted it with a caption that said, "To me, no more lies." Was I perfect?
No.
I played a game with the photos. I humiliated him online. Maybe I could have walked away quietly. But after what he did, after what I gave up, what I poured into that man, he deserved worse. And I deserved Greece. Alone.
Free.
Finally.